In the long and storied history of professional wrestling, we've seen shocking debuts, we've seen celebrity crossovers, we've seen legacies born, and we've seen them crumble. But every so often, a moment occurs that is so unexpected, so completely out of left field, that it forces everyone to stop and reassess everything they thought they knew about this business. A moment that feels like a glitch in the Matrix. We just witnessed one of those moments. For decades, the name Seagal meant one thing: bone-crunching Hollywood action. It was a brand built on Aikido, broken wrists, and blockbuster films that defined an entire era of action movies. But the next chapter of that legacy isn't being written on a movie set, it's being forged inside a wrestling ring. Older WWE fans are in disbelief after Steven Seagal's daughter, Arissa Le Brock, finally made her professional debut, showcasing a fighting style that looked utterly different from anything else in wrestling today. But her arrival wasn't an accident. It was the final step in a secret journey years in the making, a journey of rejection, a career-threatening injury, and a comeback orchestrated by a wrestling legend. So how did she pull it off? And why is the entire wrestling world absolutely buzzing about it? The story is even crazier than the debut itself. Let's set the scene. It's not a massive arena on live TV, but a student showcase for the Rhodes Wrestling Academy in March 2023. It's an intimate setting, filled with a small, passionate crowd there to see the next generation of wrestlers earn their stripes. When Arissa Le Brock steps through those ropes, she isn't just a celebrity's daughter trying something new. She is there to prove she belongs. From the moment the bell rang, it was clear this was no gimmick. The crowd witnessed a display of brutally efficient power. Her style was a violent, seamless mix of her legitimate combat sports background and bone-jarring pro wrestling power. She moved with the confidence of a lifelong athlete. You could see the Brazilian jiu-jitsu in her fluid takedowns and the control she maintained on the mat. You could see the influence of her father's Aikido in the way she used her opponent's momentum against them. Her offense wasn't just a collection of flashy moves, it was a systematic dismantling of her opponent. Reports from the showcase confirmed she won her debut match in dominant fashion. When her arm was raised in victory, the quiet buzz began. This wasn't just a new wrestler, this was Hollywood royalty with a legitimately dangerous pedigree, and she had just announced her arrival with a style nobody was prepared for. To truly understand why that moment was so electric, you have to understand the incredible story that happened before the bell ever rang. It's a story of overcoming a devastating injury, the immense shadows of her famous parents, and a brutal comeback that proves she is far more than just a name. Arissa Le Brock wasn't just born with a silver spoon, she was born into a gilded cage, caught between two iconic but vastly different worlds. Her father is, of course, Steven Seagal, the Aikido master who became one of the biggest action stars on the planet. Her mother is Kelly Le Brock, the supermodel and actress who was the definitive dream girl of the 1980s, the star of The Woman in Red and Weird Science. How do you even begin to find yourself somewhere in the middle of that? For years, Arissa found her own way, entering the world of modeling but on her own terms as a plus-size model, pushing a message of body positivity. But while the fashion world saw a model, a different fire was burning just under the surface. Arissa began training in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and this wasn't just a hobby. She became a fierce competitor, training at the respected Paragon Jiu-Jitsu and Kickboxing Academy in California, winning tournament medals and proving she had the heart of a real fighter. It was this unique mix, the poise of a model and the toughness of a BJJ competitor, that put her on a collision course with professional wrestling. In December 2019, the news broke. Arissa Le Brock was getting a WWE tryout at the Performance Center in Orlando. It made perfect sense. She had the look, the charisma, the athletic background, and a famous name. An NXT contract seemed almost inevitable, but then disaster struck. The details have been kept private, but during that notoriously grueling tryout process, she suffered a significant career-threatening injury. Her dream was over before it even began, and just like that, Arissa Le Brock vanished from the wrestling world. Months turned into years of silence. The truth was far more human. She was in a dark place, admitting later, "I had become comfortable in the darkest, worst place in my life." Just when it seemed the dream was dead, her phone rang. The call was from a wrestling legend, a man who knows everything about being judged by your family name, about reinvention, and about overcoming adversity, Dustin Rhodes. Dustin, known to millions as Goldust, didn't see a failure. He saw an athlete with untapped potential and a story that was far from over. He invited her to move from California to Austin, Texas, to train at his school, the Rhodes Wrestling Academy. Here, she wasn't a celebrity's daughter. She was a student, learning directly from a legend. Dustin meticulously broke her down and rebuilt her from the ground up, teaching her the fundamentals and helping her adapt her legitimate BJJ skills and Aikido principles into a unique hybrid style. Dustin was blown away by her dedication, saying in an interview, "She's doing a great job, but this is only the beginning for her," before making a bold prediction. Pretty soon the whole world's going to be talking about Arissa Le Brock. That hard work led directly to her showcase debut, where she walked out a warrior, forged in fire and ready for war. My very good friends, this story of resilience is one for the ages, and we're just getting to the bottom of what it all means for the wrestling world. If you're enjoying this deep dive, do us a huge favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more stories that take you behind the curtain. It really helps us out. So, why is this debut so significant? Why has it sent such a profound shockwave through the industry? It comes down to three key factors. First is the unseen style. Professional wrestling has evolved, incorporating elements of lucha libre, Japanese strong style, and MMA. But we have rarely seen a competitor whose entire offense is so credibly based on a blend of legitimate BJJ and Aikido principles. This isn't just a wrestler who knows a few martial arts moves. This is a martial artist who has chosen the wrestling ring as her dojo. How do you scout that? How do you train for it? It introduces a level of realism and a strategic challenge that is completely new and utterly compelling. It blurs the lines between sports entertainment and a legitimate fight, creating a mystique around Arissa that makes her an instant, credible threat. Second, there's the mainstream buzz. Let's be honest, wrestling loves a good legacy story. We're in an era with multiple second- and third-generation stars, but Arissa's legacy is different. Her parents' fame comes from entirely outside the wrestling bubble. The name Seagal resonates with an entire generation of action movie fans, the older WWE fans who might have tuned out years ago. Her journey isn't just wrestling news, it's entertainment news. It brings a layer of Hollywood mystique and crossover appeal that is invaluable and brings new eyes to the product, which is always the goal. Finally, this debut sets up an incredible future. The story is already perfectly written. You have a silent, deadly martial artist who overcame a career-ending injury to chase her dream on her own terms. Now that she's making a name for herself on the independent circuit, the question becomes, what's next? Does her path eventually lead back to WWE to finish the story that started at that fateful tryout? Or does her loyalty lie with her mentor, Dustin Rhodes, in AEW? The booking possibilities are endless, and for the first time in a long time, completely fresh. Arissa Le Brock isn't just a new character, she's a new genre of competitor. What we're witnessing is more than just an indie debut. It was the culmination of a years-long journey of pain, rejection, and relentless hard work. Arissa Le Brock didn't use her famous name as a shortcut. In fact, her path was harder because of it. She faced a career-ending injury, disappeared into darkness, and rebuilt herself from scratch under the guidance of a legend who saw her untapped potential. She traded a life of comfort for the sweat and sacrifice of the mat, earning her stripes in a small Texas gym far from the spotlight she was born into. She didn't just walk into wrestling. She broke the door down with a style so unique and so effective that it has put the entire industry on notice. She is no longer just the daughter of Hollywood stars trying to be a wrestler. She is a wrestler. Period. A dangerous, unpredictable, and compelling force who has injected a shot of adrenaline straight into the heart of women's wrestling. A new warrior has been forged, and her journey is just beginning. The questions now hang heavy in the air. So I have to ask all of you, my very good friends, what do you think of Arissa Le Brock's journey? Does she have what it takes to be a major star, and where do you want to see her wrestle next, WWE or AEW? Let us know all your thoughts and predictions in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this look at one of wrestling's most intriguing new stars, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into the stories that are changing the game.